When special law enforcement units breach into place, they don't really know how things will be. They may have an idea of the general layout of the building, the amount of people that might be inside, suspects and hostages, but they never truly know the kind of obstacles they would be facing. This is what the new procedural prop placement system coming with Operation Blackdown update is going to simulate and make 0 Hour a more authentic and better tactical shooter game than ever before. Hello everyone and welcome back to another 0 Hour video. Today we are going to be looking at the new procedural prop placement system and a few other improvements as well that will be coming with Operation Blackdown update. I am recording all of these from a work in progress build, so bear in mind that some of the stuff that you are going to see in this video are still subject to changes before the final release of the update. I believe this build also includes various AI improvements, like they may not run towards you all the time when you start shooting. They may start thinking twice before getting out of the room and so on. But all in all, I'm having a lot of fun on this work in progress version of the build. Anyway, so the procedural prop placement system. What does it do? How does it work? So each floor of each map will basically exist in many different variants where the different props, like the furnitures, will be at different places and they will rotate for each round, challenging your tactical and team coordination skills. The procedural prop placement system is going to be working for all maps, and today we are only going to be looking at Terror House, which is one of my favorite maps, and I am going to show you one run, and then the second run I'm not going to show you everything but just some of it, and then at the end we are going to be doing a side-by-side comparison of two other runs that I did, so that you can really see the differences and how sometimes the prop placements can really challenge your tactical skills and how it can really change your gameplay. So without further ado, let's have a look. Okay, so we are going to be doing two runs on the same map using the same tactics and the same path. I am using a silenced scout with the holo sight. I know this is something that a lot of people wanted to see. I also have my silenced Glock 17 with the micro, and we are running with one of the new watches that the team added to the game, which are the content creator watches. And so we are running with the R.O.D.E Foundation one, the the SH42000 that you two will be able to get once the update is live, and they will be sharing information on how to get it. So let's check the left really quickly here. Clear. We're gonna go to the main entrance. We're gonna check far left. Usually there's one here.
Hands up!
He's down. Door open. Have a visual on one of the hostages. Whew.
Bullies, hands in the air!
We're gonna close the door here. As we can see, we've got no suspects arrested. That's because there is a new feature in the game where you have to zip tie suspects to actually confirm that they were arrested. So that's a pretty good thing. It doesn't really Once they are here like this and waiting, I don't think they go back to picking up their weapons and attacking you, at least in the current version of the game. But who knows, maybe in the future. But what you have to do now is that you have to zip tie them, and then you get a arrested suspect. So it adds to the authenticity of the game, which I like very much. Okay, there's another one over there that you didn't see. We can already see that some of the props changed. Some of the furnitures from the living room are in what used to be the cooking room, and the living room now has some of the furnitures in that was in the cooking room. So all of that is pretty cool. Now you're gonna stay here for now. Some of the furnitures changed here as well. Okay, we're gonna leave the hostage here. There you go. So this kind of gives you better cover over some of the doors. There you go, we've got 3 arrested suspects for now. Let's move to the next floor through the stairways so that we can see how the different levels, the different floors have changed with this new procedural prop placement system. I'm gonna go through this door first. Open this one slightly. Once I go into the right, door semi-open, the opening.
Police, hands in the air! Police, hands in the air!
One is down. So as you can see, there are a lot more prop. Okay, a lot more props on the right side, so it's slightly harder to see what's going on in the other room. Okay, this seems clear. I'm gonna secure this one first. Secured. This one's dead. I hear steps. Hostage. Flash.
Police, hands in the air!
Tango down. Okay. Pretty good. Now what I will do is I'm gonna go through the different floors and I will show you the differences after. See, it's actually pretty hard to get to this other place. I would have to close the door to go here. So it could be useful for the defenders. It could be a problem as well. So you really have to adapt, and whatever map knowledge you had before are still relevant. But obviously your tactics might be impacted by this new system. Let's clear the other floors and then we'd go through them to see the differences. Okay, so we are now going to be looking at the differences between two different runs, and as you can see already on the ground floor of Terror House, you can see that on the right side in Raid A, there are a lot more items, or sorry, props in what used to be the living room, stuff you could be using as barricades, and as you get into the other room, it's clear on Raid A, but Raid B has a lot more stuff there that could be blocking the path or that the defenders could be using to defend themselves. So you need to be a lot more careful there. And obviously, these props could also block the path or not leave much room for you to go between the rooms when you open the doors. So you might be forced to close doors and so on. As you get into what I call the party room, you can clearly see that it's more or less the same thing, but some of the props have moved. There could be more props there, sometimes less. Stuff that you could potentially use to defend yourself, hide from the doors, and sometimes the little room on the left side is also blocked. Now, if you look at Raid B, you can see that that door has props in front of it, so I can't actually go through. So that means out of the two doors that would enable me to access the party room, I could only use one. So as an attacker, that forces me to make my way to the other door that could be potentially a lot more defended. So you have to think about stuff like this. Make sure you don't use all your items, all your maybe frag and flash grenades right away. You need to be adapting to the situations because you never know where those props will be. Next, we are going to have a look at the first floor, still on Terror House, and you can already see that in Raid B, I had the furniture on the right side there before the kitchen. You could use that to potentially block some of the shots going through the door from the stairways. The living room was pretty much the same, you know, maybe a few more furnitures blocking the path, but as I make my way to the bedroom, I can already see that it's more or less the same. The prop placement is kind of the same, but the props are different, and sometimes some of the props will be of different size and shapes, which might actually make it even easier or much harder for you to maybe go through. So you have to keep that in mind. As I make my way to the master bedroom as well, different furnitures again, different placement now, and the bed was in Raid A, kind of like flipped, and the wardrobe was moved as well. You could potentially use that one to hide behind and cover the door. But in Raid B, there was pretty much nothing, only the bed. But you could still go prone, especially with the new prone. You can hide yourself a lot better, in my opinion. So that's pretty good. And then I make my way back to the living room, and I am running or going a little bit faster in Raid B compared to Raid A, but I believe it's pretty much the same. Yeah, it's I mean, it's kind of different because those, yeah, you can see the sofas in Raid B are right next to the wall, so there is no room for me to actually follow the wall and so on, forcing me to go in the center of the room, which obviously forces me to expose myself a lot more. Next, we are going to have a look at the second floor. Again, the beginning is pretty much the same here, not much is different, kitchen is the same, and as I look at the living room, now that's quite different. Obviously, those furnitures, again, are blocking my path to go to the bedroom or the office. So again, it forces me to go to the center of the room, exposing myself a lot more, exposing myself to potential suspects being in the bathroom or maybe the master bedroom. So that's pretty tricky. And as you can see again in the office, you have the wardrobe is it's down. You could use that as a cover, so you could potentially have suspects behind there, and there is not enough space for me to go behind the desk. All of that is pretty tricky. So you're gonna have to make sure that you clear those corners before moving to any other room. The main office is again more furnitures, pretty much the same layout, but again you could have this bathroom in Raid B blocked by wardrobe. There could be no one there, so sometimes some of the setups actually block access to entire rooms, mostly small rooms like toilets and whatnot. But yeah, in Raid B there you can see on the right side there was a shelf there with boxes. You could use that as a way to you could use that as cover. And again, here, Raid A compared to Raid B, On Raid B, I have a lot of furnitures right next to the wall. It's not as bad as the first floor, but again, it doesn't allow me to really follow the walls and clear this room safely. It really forces me at times to go in the center and exposing myself and the rest of the team a lot more than I will actually like to. And so that's it for this video showcasing the new procedural prop placement system that will be coming with Operation Blackdown update. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. It's honestly the best way to support the channel right now. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.